Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Mike Chamberlain here from Peterbilt Pacific in beautiful Prince George, BC. If you watched my last video, you know it was snowy and yucky and rainy and warm. Well, the warm has made most of the snow go away. So I wanted to do a walk around of this 367 set forward axle tractor. Now, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, but if you do, I did have a post about the 367 set forward axle is going away. This is actually the last year you can get the 367 set forward. It actually might already be too late. I know the factory was just about full. They speculated that by the end of this week, all orders for 2020 will be done and we'll be moving off into the 2021 model year. But anyways, this 367 set forward, I'm gonna miss it. It's a great spec. It essentially is the same thing as a short hood 389, only it has the fiberglass hood. So I guess, you know, I guess there's some I don't know, I guess we can replace it with the 389 short hood, which isn't a bad thing because it's a beautiful truck. But what I loved about this one is if you just wanted a great work truck, like the fiberglass hood, a little bit more of a slope to it, it does a really good job, and it's a really great price truck. This one, I would like to call it value spec, if you will. It's got, you know, the 565/2050. It's got an 18-speed trans. It's got the Super 40 rear diffs. It's not lacking for anything, but with the 367 set forward, you know, without polished tanks, you know, a little bit step down on the interior. This one doesn't have the platinum interior. It can come in at a great price, and you know what? It's next best thing to a 389. But anyways, we have this one. It is in stock. It's a 2021. If you're interested, give me a call, 778-349-2215, and I'll get you some pricing on it. And like I say, you can't get these anymore. So if you haven't got one on order already, that's it. It's the end of an era for the 367 set forward. So anyways, let's take a look. So you can see, as compared to a 389, this hood has a little more slope to it, and it is a fiberglass hood. Standard exhaust shields on this one. I actually really like that. I really like the straight miter cut stacks, and it's a base option, so it's more affordable. Non-polished tanks. Now with these non-polished tanks, we can change these straps to a belted version, and that would look just minty. So like with this spec, basically we've got no def cover. If you wanted to go with black tanks, we've got machine finished tanks. Just paint the tanks black. You take a value spec truck and suddenly it looks like a full custom. I always put hub and nut covers on my trucks. This one has low air leaf, Super 40 rear diffs, Holland slide, Eaton rear diffs too, for those of you that like your Danas over Meritor. Now this is another thing that I like as well. Now a lot of guys like the cab extenders, and this one I did not put them on, but with this step here, I mean, when you're hooking up to a trailer, how easy is that? You got your 3 points, you're standing here, you hook up, you're not rustling around with your cab extenders being in the way. Step down, it's fantastic. We also have the tail lights in the rear cross member with the LED lights. It's great because they're not hanging down. If you've got drivers on your truck and they tend to back into things, it's a great option. They can't rip it off. And if they do rip it off, we're in trouble. 150-gallon tank on the passenger side with the baggage door. It's got wiring here, extra wiring for, I believe these are for signal lamps or backup lamps. If we order it with the basically a spare battery wiring, or backup light wiring, it would be tied up under there as well. So Got Moto Mirrors on this truck. This one came with the factory antenna mounted on the mirror arm. Personally, I like that. With the antenna on the mirror arm, it's not on the roof. Standard is to have it in the center of the roof. It's fine, but I don't know. I just like it on the mirror arm. It's only about a $35 option, so it's yeah, to me it's worth it to have it on the mirror arm. This one is Cummins powered 565 2050 torque X15. Like I say, it's a train tractor, and I tend to spec heavy, spec power, because that's kind of how we roll up here. Oh, yeah. Gotta love me a red engine. 13.2 front axle. Drum brakes. I love disc brakes, but when you're building a value spec truck, drum brakes are definitely more affordable than disc. But I'm sure that's going to change over time. This is nice with a fiberglass hood. They do have the inner liner. Now the inner liner, I believe this is a metal liner, and it's bonded to the fiberglass. You can see right here. Let's kind of zoom in there. There's the fiberglass. Yeah. Now anybody that knows anything about metal and fiberglass, the best thing about fiberglass is it's repairable. The worst thing about metal is it's really hard to repair, but it's light and durable. And when we get into our 5 Series trucks, they have the full metal hood. Beauty of those hoods is they're actually designed for the metal hoods. So we have had to date 0 issues with the metal hoods on the 5 Series. And I mean, we kind of beat on our trucks around here. Well, not everybody, but we haul logs, they're in the bush, big loads, rough roads, and I mean, you guys know what it's like. And the new trucks, they're built for the metal hood. This truck, granted it's the last year of it, fiberglass, it's heavy, it's not as light. Certainly it's easier to repair, which is a big benefit, but like anything, it can't stay the same forever. So with Peterbilt, we have the anti-blowdown. You know what, a lot of people say, oh, that's annoying because then I got to flip it. Well, I tell you, if you're ever working under the hood of a truck on a windy day, this thing is literally a lifesaver. And I mean, how hard is it to do that? Now you can close the hood. Brilliant engineering by Peterbilt well, where I come from. This one, we do have the central loop point for your clutch linkage and cross shafts. That's fantastic. We've got the Davco fuel water separator. I really like the Davco. As you see the fuel level come up, when it gets up to here, it means put a new filter in. So you pop the hood, your driver quick look at it, oh, yep, it's good, don't need to worry about that. Check your oil, power steering, and you're off to the races. So gotta love that X15. So let's take a look on the inside now. Now, just because it's a value spec doesn't mean that it isn't nice. And you gotta hand it to the Peterbilt engineers, because you know what, they don't do anything half-assed. So take a look. Still got our map pockets, wood grain on the doors, Peterbilt emblems everywhere. I mean, look at that, nothing but class. And this is, you know, shout out to our guys. This is how we like to see our trucks. It's snowy, it's wet, it's mucky. Our guys put plastic on the pedals, so when you come to pick up your truck, odds are your clutch pedal is going to be nice and clean because we keep it protected. We've got our headlight switch, marker lights, fog lights, and this would be your backup lights on the sleeper. Of course, hazards, dash dimmer, lights to flash at your buddies or whatever on the highway, windshield wipers, signals, high-low, pretty standard stuff. Your air horn, pull, classic. Now with this truck was driven up from Denton, And where I live here in Prince George, we are approximately 4,350 kilometers away from Texas. So if you get a truck from us and it was driven, it will have 4,300 kilometers on it. Now, the sun is not necessarily cooperating, but yeah, I went with all gauges. We've got our fifth wheel slide, inner axle, front diff lock, rear diff lock, PTO. A lot of my fuel hauling customers like this spec, and so we put the PTO switch on the dash. Corsair suspension dump. Over here, we've got our DPF Regen Switch. So you guys probably already know, if you don't want to do a regen, push it on to stop. If you're going into a refinery and they don't want you doing a regen there, you hit that and it won't do it. If you need to do a regen, hit here, hold it, it'll do a regen. We've got your engine fan switch, engine retarder, high, low, medium, cruise control, on, off, set your cruise, of course fan buttons here. Let me just turn the key on. Now I will do another video on our concert class series for getting your Bluetooth connected, because I always forget. It's yeah, it's worth a whole video on its own. Over here we've got our automated traction control, ATC if you will. This is now standard on all trucks. It kind of, you know what, it is what it is. This is a disable switch. Hit the switch once and it disables it. Hit it again and it turns it back on. I also brought it in with an ABS off-road. If you're hauling into a mine or somewhere and you want to you know, lock up a little bit, ABS off-road switch, turn off your ABS. Couple spare backup light switches like I showed you, the wiring in the frame there. One of those will be powered to one of these switches. The other one I believe is for the location J on the side of the sleeper. Couple spare switches, pre-wire for beacon lights, and of course your bunk light. Oh, and your rear heater. So basically if your bunk heater is set to a certain temperature, if you hit this switch, it just turns it on. Turn it off, turns it off. And of course we got our glove box. This one being a Prestige interior, we do not have the doors up top, but let's see. Oh yeah, it's a little better. But we've got the little netting there, which works. And you know what? Really, it doesn't look bad at all. With the Platinum interior, we have a little bit more wood trim than we do in the Prestige model. But, you know, we have just enough wood trim to where it doesn't feel like it's a value spec truck. But price-wise, this truck here, if I think about it, versus a similar spec 389, I'm gonna be almost $15,000 cheaper. So, you know, 15 grand for the exact same truck and a couple little mods on this thing, and it's, yeah, it looks awesome. In the bunk, we've got the double bunk. Pull it down. We've got our man door there. More lights here. Our controls panel in your sleeper. This one has the S-bar from factory. We've got the bunk lights. You can turn your lights off while you're sleeping. Digital alarm clock, ashtray if anyone actually does smoke anymore. And of course your climate control buttons. Cup holder, little storage cubby, and of course your vent. Fridge. Can't be going out without your fridge. It's a nice size fridge. It's not too big, not too small. Just make sure it's turned off. It is turned off. It does have a little freezer. A lot of truck fridges actually don't have a freezer. It's even got a mini ice cube tray. How cute is that? You see that? Yeah. So when it's hot out, keep some ice. Have a nice coldy bevy with some ice in it. Or at the end of a long hard day, make you a nice rum and coke with some ice in it. Or scotch on the rocks if that's your poison. We've got a nice size closet here. Good and open, and it's big enough to where you could put, you know, you could put another storage box down there, secondary cooler, or if you pack lots of food, you can stick it over there. And on this side, we have the storage totes. So we have the pull-out totes. Nice thing with these, the bins are made to fit. So you take this out, fill it up at home, bring it in, drop it in, you're good to go. Storage tray under here. We've got your desk workstation, so you can sit here and eat your dinner, do your paperwork, you know, play Call of Duty or whatever it is that a guy does if you're into video games. We've got spot for a TV. So with this is actually, I don't know if you can see this well, but there's adjustments here. So this shelf will actually go, you can adjust it up and down. Antenna cable for your TV, and we've got 12-volt outlets for it. Now if we have the factory installed inverter, there will be a 120 amp plug in there as well. And up here is another cubby. You know, generally guys will put their microwave up here, maybe adjust the shelf up so it fills it up, and put your TV down there. Or if you're into flat screens, which, let's face it, most of us are, you could put it over here and use this for storage. Put your flat screen over here, and you got your AC vent, well, down there, and that's it. More storage up here with your vent on this side. Just give it a pull. Another vent over there, so you get that cross flow ventilation. There is a mirror, so you can check to make sure you're looking good. And yeah, check that out. Love the classic Peterbilt 1.9 meter cab. Like, seriously, when we're working by ourselves, we don't need to have a huge cab. Sometimes it is nicer if you're living in it, or you got a, you know, you're driving team to, you know, to maybe have that bigger sleeper. And at that point you go into the 5 Series truck. You know what? If depending on your application, personally, I like the 1.9 meter cab, the extra width. It's great, but unless you're living in it all the time, I don't know. To me, it's not really necessary. But maybe I'm just a purist, you know. I like the traditional 1.9 meter cab. It is a little tougher for the big guys though, you know, because it is a bit narrow there. Now, like with this, we've got our floor cup holder. We've got our thermos holder, 2 cup holders, little storage compartment for books or whatever. Lift up and turn, armrest. Lift up, turn, there. Of course, tilt seat. This one does have an 18-speed transmission. Power windows and locks. And that's about it. That's my Peterbilt 367 set forward. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. I gotta stop saying but I guess as the more videos I do, I will get better at this. And yeah, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and we're gonna do some more trucks. We're gonna do 389s, we're gonna do 567s, we're gonna do 579s, we're gonna do the Ultraloft. I actually have an Ultraloft here. It's just over here, if I can show it to you or zoom in, if you can see it in the lineup. And I tell you, when I talk about room in the cab, the Ultraloft is freaking amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, I love my 1.9 meter cab, but you know, it is a little bit skinny. So the Ultraloft, it's kind of unbelievable when it comes to room. And if you're, you know, hauling with your wife or you're running double, there's just nothing better. So, and at the same time, it's a Peterbilt. Anyways, this truck is available, and if you would like some more information, just give me a call. Mike Chamberlain at peterbilt.bc.ca. So my official email is actually mchamberlain@peterbilt.bc.ca, or you can reach me on mikechamberlainpeterbilt@gmail, or shoot me a text 778-349-2215, or just, hey, put a comment in below this video and tell me what you think. And you know what, I appreciate any and all feedback, and it's a pleasure, and I hope I get to do more of these, and I hope you guys enjoy them. And I can't wait until we get some good weather and do some more wicked rides. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back now, and we'll see you next time.